So, let me start off with this. Before I go into how ridiculously stupid it is, and a little bit of the off-putness that I have of some things. I do apologize for the volume. Anyway, I digress. Before I even go into this, I don't care for Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. The only movies I like, which someone already gave to me, was Prisoner of Azkaban and Order of the Phoenix. I think Harry Potter overall is kind of dumb. I think Fantastic Beasts is better than the main series. Kind of have that same approach to Lord of the Rings. Now, that's my opinion. That's how I feel. If you're like, oh, I love them, that's up to you. I don't care. It's just what it is for me. I agree with Clerks too. When I watch Lord of the Rings, I just think it's a walking movie. That's just me. So, when I'm talking about this, I have seen the, I guess you could say, controversy of J.K. Rowling having some issues with trans people. I think it's something along the lines of she's saying that like being a trans person, going through that transition and stuff does not make you whatever gender you're trying to be. Whatever, something like that. Okay. You know, that's her opinion. That's how she wants it. And, you know, but people do say a lot of wild stuff to her, which in turn, I look at these same people and I go, but you guys will, and gals and everyone, you complain when someone says rude things to you. It becomes a very back and forth, stupid argument. So now we run into limited games, or limited run gaming, whatever, LGR. They fired a person because one person, a self-proclaimed overreaction internet bully named Purple Tink Hates Elon, I think that's the name. On top of that was the person who I guess is responsible for the BronyCon situation, like how BronyCon came to be. But this person did an op-ed apology about how terrible they have treated people and canceled, and they admittedly overreact. Now, this person was upset because the manager at Limited Run Games decided, hey, I'm going to get excited about this Hogwarts Harry Potter thing. Now, if you don't know with the game, I don't care for the game. That's why I didn't really talk about it. Because, like I said again, if I was going to play a Harry Potter game, it would probably be a Lego game. So, there are people who are putting all these crazy, like, things on Steam about it, where it's like, because they said that they don't like JK, and then I seen some of them say that the goblins look like Jewish people, which is like, what's wrong with you? That's weird, but okay. So these people are up against it because JK has said things about the trans community and has let her opinions be known. And in doing so, a lot of these people are trying to cancel it, not realizing that all of this stuff that they're doing is actually making people more interested in the game. There are people who I've talked to who were like, I don't know, it looks all right. And now that they keep hearing all this stuff, they're like, well, now I kind of want to play it just to see what all the hoopla is about. So good job there. Now, what happens is that the Purple Tank decided that because they did not like that this woman in gaming, you know, because that's been a big topic for a while now, how women don't have positions in video game companies and things that handle video games and all that stuff. And, you know, people swear that everybody's never represented enough. Even if you point out how much people are represented, it's just never enough. Well, you have a woman here. She was in a good position, the public relations. And because Purple Tank didn't like that she said something positive about the Hogwarts game, because they're actively trying to fight this game, even though the best way you could have did it is just ignore it, because if I don't like something, I just don't consume it, decided to turn around and say that this person was transphobic. And the problem is that it's a tweet from 2016, And I'm paraphrasing here, but the person basically says something along the lines of, if you think all the people who are trying to do this, you know, the thing with the bathroom, are all trans people and they're not even more, you know, perverts, then I think it's like, you're what's wrong with society, or you're what's wrong with the world. Like I said, I paraphrase it, but it's something like that. Talking about, there are a lot of people, basically making the point that there's a lot of people who would take advantage of that kind of situation. Safety on women. All right. Now, you can take that as you will. Some people may take that as an attack. I saw it more as an observation of saying, humans themselves, you got to watch out. There's a lot of bad people out there, no matter what creed and walk of life they are. So this person spent hours to find this one tweet, and then they Limited Run Games did this thing where they were like, we investigated it and we're all about inclusion. Like I said, I'm doing this off the fly because I don't have my stuff in front of me to look it up. So I'm just talking, but I know what I'm talking about. And they're talking about like all this inclusion and how they want people to respect. But what you just did there is not inclusion, because she follows wrong think people like Gina Carano, and I think it was like Libs of the TikTok, whatever the heck. I didn't even remember what that was. And this all started because off of a tweet off of there. Now, I've seen that because this person has gotten fired, they have been getting roasted. Like the Limited Run Games, because it really comes down to one person did a complaint. One. And destroyed another person's livelihood. That's terrible. Now, I believe in the beauty of America, but it seems like a lot of people don't. There is a reason why there's two parties. You should be allowed to vote for the party that you think works best and not condemn another person for using their American rights that was given to them. And I don't care if you are a liberal, a conservative, a Republican, a Democrat. This culture war bull needs to stop. There are too many people that I'm seeing that are getting canceled that lean right, or because they lean it, like that thing that happened at Marvel where it's like, oh, we'll find you and blacklist you and all this stuff. Doing that, you're making these people martyrs. Number one. Number two, it's America. They are allowed to vote for who they want. You condemning them for using their American right is actually wrong, and technically should not be legal. And I mean that vice versa too. I shouldn't see people leaning on the right condemning someone for having a liberal belief. You're allowed to have discord. You're allowed to have arguments. You're allowed to believe in what religion you want to believe. That's the beauty of America. But for some reason, all I ever see nowadays is people talking about the other side and how evil and wicked and all this stuff. And I'm like, they're not evil and wicked. They just don't want your values. They just don't, they don't have the same value as you on what you think is important versus what they think is important. But at the end of the day, there are definitely some common grounds. People don't want racism. People want to be treated fairly. It's just that people keep going to these insane extremes. And what's happening now is Limited Run Games, you have done something that's extreme and insulting and bad. And me personally, I will never buy a thing from you again. Now, here's the crazy part. My one friend I'm talking, he doesn't care. He's like, I like it. They work for me. And I just stay out the culture stuff. That's fine too. Because I told him, I said, that's great. I'm never doing it again because I don't like companies. I'm tired of companies doing this kind of stuff to people. You don't deserve to be a company anymore. I feel like if you are condemning people simply because of who they follow, I follow conservative people online. I also follow liberal people online because I sometimes want to hear, and when I listen to things, I want to hear what both sides have to say, even from my comic books and geeking and stuff. I listen to Geeks and Gamers, but I also listen to comics by Drake. You see what I'm saying? Two definitely different sides of the coin. So it's kind of one of those situations of they need to calm this down. And I did find out one of my peoples actually was They try to say you can't cancel a limited run game. My friend said that. Actually, it depends on the parameters. If you look it up, there are ways to cancel. It's just certain things you can't cancel because of how they're set up. So I found out one of my friends for my birthday was actually trying to get me the Battletoads Double Dragon limited run game. Which I love Battletoads Double Dragon because I used to love playing Double Dragon when I was a kid. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then it had a nice little like acrylic thing and it's set up and you could have it on display. And he was like, yeah, bro, I told you about this because now I'm not getting it because of what they did. And I said, I'm down for that. I'm not doing their stuff either. So I'm not going to support a company that's going to fire someone simply because they follow somebody and you go after someone from like a thing that's like over 5 years old. Remember, I've said this in other videos. Any tweet that's over 5 years old should not even be counted because you are a different person. So, for me personally, I think it's messed up. A self-proclaimed cyberbully who also has been self-proclaimed and talked about and has apologized for how extreme and how anger and rage-filled they become and what they try to do to actually hurt people that may not even deserve it to the level they are. You took their word over it. Now, there's a ton of people who said they're done with you, their limited run games. I'm never getting a limited run game thing again. I've got a thing here or there. I actually wanted to get that. Then he told me about the Battletoads, and there was, I think they had like the Street Fighter thing. They had a couple things on there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this. I'm not getting any of it now. I was going to do some future stuff. Nope. Done. You have officially lost my money. Because of what you did. Because you went outside the scope to do what you did. So, all I have to say is like I said, there's other people who cover this way better than me, way deeper. Clownfish TV, if you really want to get in a deep dive, they like showed the letter, the written letter that Purple Tank like said about being a bully and stuff like that. I'm more of just kind of grabbing some images and sharing my thoughts. I just got off of work. I had a long day. I ain't trying to be all extra. So, limited run games. Let's see where you go, because I'm seeing they got so bad that they actually turned off the comments. They even turned off the comments on their website, from what I've seen. So you tell me what you think. This Hogwarts thing is getting out of control. And the limited run game thing, I think, was way out of line for what they did to that person. And it's now sad because another female in gaming that should be celebrated because she had a very high position in the company is now taken away because Purple Tank. I'm making an assumption that this person is trans from the pictures that I've seen. Took down technically what was someone that could have been a fellow ally. Also, before I go, I've seen some people do this thing where they're like, oh, you can pirate the game. If you're going to be an activist and say you're not going to do something, but you have that FOMO, and you turn around and you play that game, but you're telling everyone and they're calling them terrible people for buying it, you're a hypocrite. You're just as bad. You're still supporting it, because you didn't pay for it. Also, too, where's your outcry for Universal and Netflix? Where's your outcry for Warner Brothers and all the other places? This is where you choose when they got books and things. I guarantee you that this video game is a drop in the bucket compared to what they make JK makes off of Universal. So if you're going to do all this, then that means get rid of all of your Harry Potter stuff. A bunch of you, I've noticed with those videos, you still have your Harry Potter stuff in your background. You still have your books and everything. So if you're going to be an activist, then get rid of all of it. Because if not, if you're going to sit there and still support it, but yet condemn other people for living their life and doing their thing, you're being a hypocrite. And in honesty, I also know a bunch of people, and I've seen other people say it too, where people are like, don't buy that game, and then they turned around and secretly bought the game and played the game and actually enjoy it. So yeah, let's stop with all this fake activism stuff. You don't like it, don't purchase it. But don't sit there and tell other people that they're bad or try to ruin their lives with that stupid website or things like that because you don't like it. Like, you need to stop. Focus on things that are more important than one video game out of an entire franchise. Geek Protagonist, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. And I'll see you.